Triambakam yajamahe.
Hi everyone and welcome back. My name is Mike. Today I'm going to do a full-length practice, and it's a little bit unusual in the way it's structured. After a little bit of a warm-up, some sun salutations, we're going to move through asanas through the chakras, beginning at our crown chakra and ending at chakra number 1. So that means at the end we're actually going to be standing, so feeling our foundation in sync with chakra 1. So try it out and see how the energetics feel to you. Know that you can have any number of props helping you: block, strap, blanket, and I'm going to show a bunch of options today as well. So I'll just have you begin by lying back. Go ahead and lie back in Shavasana as we prepare and essentially kind of reset our nervous system before we begin to practice. So you're closing your eyes and drawing your attention in on the rhythms of the body, and in particular, the movement of your breath. Maybe you even like to take your hands and place them on your belly and let that be another anchor to the present moment while you feel as you inhale, the belly expands, and as you exhale, it's like pressing a balloon, the air out. Continue to watch the breath, but also become just a bit more aware of what's going on there, what the length and depth of the breath is. And I want you to shape it into a rhythm that's about 2/3 of your total breathing capacity. So taking about 2/3 of a way inhale and an equal 2/3 exhale. So both of these are bigger than your natural breathing. So what this does is it prepares us for movement by increasing the oxygen intake and increasing our heat a little bit, but it also brings us into the present moment a bit more. And any time that we are with our breath, we are with that present. The body is our past, and the breath is our present. Take one more nice smooth inhale and a smoother exhale. And then when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe bring your chin into your chest as well. Round out your back and rock up and back a couple times. So rock up to sitting and then rock back just a few times, waking up that back, being kind to it, and find your way then to a seated position. So here in Sukhasana, let's just begin with a few neck stretches. You're going to inhale and lift your chin so that you're stretching the front side of your throat. And then as you exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Doing it again. Inhale and extending, lengthening those muscles of the neck. And we're not crunching here as we exhale, drawing the chin back towards the chest again. Do that one more time. So be careful at the back side that you don't feel like you're compressing the vertebra, anything in there. It's more about lengthening on the other side and returning back to neutral. Then we'll do some side to side as well. As you bring your ear to one shoulder, again, focus on the lengthening of one side of the neck. And then as you exhale, go to the other side, lengthening the other side of the neck. As you inhale, going on back, you might even put your arms out wide and feel the extra stretch you get out of that. Exhale, and again, this is about feeling that length, not so much just kind of straining and crunching those spinal column to the side. Good. And we're going to do a cleansing technique called Kapalabhati breathing, which is skull shining. It's quick exhales in the abdomen, and you're directing the energy up to the roof of your sinuses. You'll close your eyes and experience the light, what happens behind the eyes, all right? So I'll start it off, and you can go at any pace. It sounds like this. Find your rhythm. Keep going. Let the inhale be automatic. And we do about 30. I'll tell you when to stop, but try not to let it stress you out. but instead experience the shining that's going on behind the eyes. And then, when you're ready, take a nice smooth inhale, lift your heart, sit up tall. Pause at the top, hold the breath in, and then exhale, just kind of experiencing that translate as skull shining breath. All right, let's take our hands, put them together, and give them a vigorous rub to create some heat. Some good heat here. Always takes me a hot second to do that. And then go ahead and place them over your eyes to warm them up. Warm up the senses here. And then place them over your ears, maybe massaging the hinge of the jaw. Moving to the throat. And then returning to heart center. Nice. We are going to work our way pretty efficiently up to standing. So if you want to come onto all fours, all right, step 1 foot forward and work your way to the top of the mat. All right. Find your Tadasana, and we're going to begin right away with this sun salutation today. So Tadasana, you put your arms at attention, whole body at attention, slight bend in the knees. All right. And our sequence begins with an inhale. Make a nice round shape. And exhale, bring your hands into heart center. Now, inhale, arms come out up overhead. And anytime today in our sun salutation where we have our hands up, you have the option of making a baby back bend out of this. So that means lifting your heart a little bit further, dropping the weight of the shoulders back, and looking up. Got to keep your abdominals working here too. All right. So let's do another inhale, lifting up, on away. And exhale, forward fold. Come all the way down. From here, inhale, the right leg steps back and put your knee down. Now, some people may like to stay here, adding extra padding if you need to, but we will also be adding the crescent lunge, either halfway or all the way up as we lunge each time. So I'm taking my time here, but the next few passes will be a lot more swift. All right. Then go ahead and frame your front foot and step back and find a plank, either from your knees or your toes. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, lower yourself, keeping the arms into the body, Chaturanga Dandasana. Resting the body on the floor. Go ahead, shrug the shoulders back, again keeping the elbows in. That's your baby cobra. And as we progress, you can do more cobra if you like. All right, then you're going to use your abdominals, draw everything back, and let the hips come up nice and high. Now, we haven't been in a down dog yet, so let's hold it here, get our grounding, press into the bones of the palms, right? That first row at the top of the palms. Inhale, lengthen your back and lift your hips. And then exhale, feel your heels getting a little bit heavier. Again, inhale, pressing through the hands to lengthen the spine. I don't care about the knees being, straight or anything, but then eventually you soften your heels. Maybe your thigh bones stretch back a little bit to the other wall. Good, and your eye gaze lands somewhere between the maybe knees or legs. Good. From here, we'll inhale, step the right leg forward, drop the back knee, and as on the other side, we're going to come into the crescent lunge as well. So take one more breath here because we held it on the other side. Good. And then you'll frame the front foot and step back into forward fold. Now, when you rise, make sure that you protect the back, maybe a little knee bend. Lift your heart and come on up, hands up. Again, that tiny back bend if you want. And exhale, find your mountain pose. Let's try it and take out some of those stops. Inhale, big circle around to the heart center. And exhale, bring everything into heart center. Inhale, rise. Hands high overhead, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, take that dive, come all the way down into a nice forward fold. Inhale, the left leg steps back and arms on up. And then exhale, step to a plank and come down, Chaturanga Dandasana. On the floor, inhale through for cobra or up dog if you like it. Exhale, back through down dog. Take an extra breath here and just absorb kind of what happened there, right? So we moved a little bit faster through those lunges. We'll be doing this again with the breath, one movement, one breath. So you want to just kind of give yourself time to learn the flow. Okay. On your inhale, lunge the left foot forward. Come on up into that crescent lunge. And as you exhale, you're going to step into forward fold all the way at the top of the mat. Inhale, rise. Hands overhead. And exhale, find your Tadasana. Mountain pose, all active. Inhale, let's go again. All right, we're cruising now. And exhale, dive, come forward, fold all the way. Inhale, the right leg steps back, crescent lunge if you like, or stay low. Exhale, find your way to plank, and then down from knees or toes, crocodile. Inhale through baby cobra, more cobra, or up dog. Exhale, come back through down dog. Inhale, lunge the right foot forward, again up in that lunge. And exhale, step into forward fold. Inhale, pick up your heart, rise back, arms overhead. And exhale, Tadasana. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, rise, nice, little baby back bend if you want. Exhale, all the way down to forward fold. Back, and that nice crescent if you want it up high. Exhale, come through plank, down into crocodile. Then inhale through to your cobra. Exhale, draw the navel all the way back into your down dog. Good. Inhale and lunge the left foot forward. Lunge on up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, be tall. And exhale, mountain pose. Good. Now, when you're practicing on your own, if you're not with me and you like that sun salutation, you can do that as many times as you like, all right? But for now, we're going to move on to a little bit of stretching before we get into our asanas. Inhale, come high. Exhale, on back down. And then onto the knees. We're going to come onto our back next, all right? So flip on over and lie back. Now from here, let's just go ahead and do some alternate leg raises. You're going to inhale, lift your right leg up, and exhale, put it down. All right, so take your time. This segment is to get our legs really warmed up flexibility-wise. So inhaling, trying to keep nice length in the leg. Exhale, put it down. Good. Now on the next one, when you take your right leg up, let's also draw the knee in and give it a hold. Compress the right side of that low belly, kind of assisting that ascending colon here. Maybe you want to give it a little bit of a massage. And in this flow, you're going to be drawing your knee towards you, and you're going to be pressing your opposite foot far away. Feel the stretch on the inner thighs. All right, let's change sides and hold the left knee in for a sec. Draw it in. Again, massage that low belly on the left side. So what we're doing here when we start on the right, ascending colon, left, descending colon, so we're assisting the direction of your food that's moving through you. All right, lovely image. Good. And stretch away. So here's what happens when you inhale, change legs. As you exhale, knee in, heel away. Inhale, change legs. Exhale, knee in, heel away. And do that a few times. Inhale, change. Exhale, stretch the inner thighs. Inhale, change. Exhale, stretch. How about one more set? Change. Good. And last one. Always want to get even sides, right and left. All right. So here, what's next? We're going to fire up the abdominals. We're going to do leg drops. So if you want to put your hands under your cheeks, that is option number 1. All right. Otherwise, option number 1 here, but also as you drop your legs, you could put your toes closer to the body. Look at how much easier that's going to be. Otherwise, you can hold your elbows overhead and we'll do the leg drops that way. Whatever you've got, let's go ahead and try it. You're going to exhale as you lower them all the way down. Then inhale, trace the floor and come back on up, lift the heels to the sky. All right. Exhale, control everything. Nice. Inhale here. Let me again show you that option on the legs. Exhale if you want less work, just keep it close to the body. Good. Inhale, come on up. Using whatever strength you've got, exhale, draw the navel in. Inhale, in and up. Good. I'm going to do one more. So, you may also have your hands, again, under your cheeks for a little bit of support. Inhale up. And exhale. Beautiful. And let's just go ahead and keep those legs in for a moment. And we're going to get ready for our first pose. So just take a moment and make sure that everything is flowing really nicely. So what we're going to do first is come and flip onto our front. So if you like, you can, rock yourself and flip through front. Otherwise, make your way. And we're going to begin with a dolphin. So if you have a headstand in your practice, it's okay to do this. Again, we're moving through the chakras, starting at chakra 7 right here today. Obviously, headstand is where we will make contact with that chakra 7 the best. But if that's not part of your practice, I'm not going to necessarily go through it all today. We're going to do good dolphins and options as ways of working towards that, or not, or just practicing where you are. So, number 1, elbows down, hold your biceps, and then clasp your hands. Remove the pinky. We're going to do a dolphin push-up first. So if you want the gentlest version, stay down here. And what you do is you inhale and bring your head over your hands, and you exhale, press back into those arms into a dolphin push-up. Okay? So, those of you who are familiar with dolphin, you come into standard dolphin with the feet tucked under, hips up nice and high, and then you do the same. Inhale now, bring your chin to touch your hands, and exhale, bring your crown to touch the floor. Woo! Inhale, chin forward, touch, exhale, come on back. And you can do this any number of times. It's really, really fantastic for the strengthening of the shoulders. So even if you're down on your knees, really, really nice for building shoulder strength. Of course, if you have shoulder issues, you're going to take it easy. I'm going to do one more here. And a teacher of mine said, if you do this 21 times, then you're strong enough for a headstand. All right, so we're going to hold our dolphin now. So you could be in the standard dolphin, something like this, but you want to press and lengthen your back, lift your hips just like you would in down dog. Also, if you wanted to just hold the gentle version of this, stay on the knees and walk out. You'll still find that you're getting plenty of shoulder activity. All right. So a big part of dolphin for some practitioners is that you can walk in a little bit closer and practice those inversion skills that eventually lead us to things like headstand. All right. So again, I'm not going to break that one down today, but kind of knowing it's there if you want to play with being or feeling upside down in any way. And noticing where the energy is going, probably towards the top of our body, yeah? Chakras 7 and 6 up there at the top. Okay. Finish your last nice exhale in this pose, and please do not flip out of this. Put your knees down. Come back to child's pose and stack your hands under your forehead and allow the pressure in your body to normalize, equalize in a nice sattvic way, we would say, right? Instead of flipping up out of this and making yourself dizzy and passing out. Good. All right. So there was kind of chakras 6 and 7. The upper ones we moved through pretty quickly. We're going to move back onto our backs. All right. Coming on back for some options surrounding shoulder stand. Okay. Option number 1, if you do not care to do a full shoulder stand, you could do something like Viparita Karani, where you put your hips on a block, find the sweet spot, and let them float. Let them float pretty relatively effortlessly. There's, again, a sweet spot where it's not digging. And you are still experiencing, now we're into throat area chakra 5. All right, Vishuddha means purified. Otherwise, half shoulder stand, you kind of want to get your elbows in really well, and sometimes it takes a little bit of a lift to do that. And then find the place where your hips can sit in the heels of your hands. So you notice my fingers are kind of free, and the weight is resting in the heels of the hands. And here I'm compressing, getting a lot more pressure in the throat chakra here, but my neck feels good and long and safe. Now, if you're a person, now the feet just kind of float over the head. If you're a person who loves full shoulder stand and you know it, one of the tips that I was taught was coming kind of into plow and then
nestling those shoulders way far together so that they are a lot closer in, and then coming up into your shoulder stand. Now, this is really intense for the neck, and you actually want it to be relaxing for the neck. So if it's not for you, and some people need to be on a blanket for this, if it's not for you, then we're going to stay in half shoulder stand. So keep in mind, I did not give you all the tips for full shoulder stand. That's for people who really love it. I'm going to break that down in a video coming up. Maybe do some lab type series, okay? But for now, just practice where you're at. Okay, so if you are hips on the block, you can start working your way off. But here's how I'd like you to work out of the half shoulder stand. So you don't have to drop the feet all the way, but drop them behind you, and then secure your arms on the floor. All right, be strong in your abs and arms, and then drag your legs across your face, controlling your descent. Down, down, one vertebra at a time, until that whole spine is on the floor, and then bent legs, knees come together, and have a rest, a few breaths. Nice, and you can always comment as well if you would like instruction on any poses, or if you want extra breakdown within a class. Happy to do that. All right, that was chakra 3. 5. Third one. We're working our way down. So we're going to move into a heart opener, which is going to be our bridge pose. So let me walk through some options on that as well. Catch your heels, bring them on in, and a gentle bridge can be supported by a block, low side, medium side, high side. And again, you find the sweet spot, and let your arms open to the side. This is on the table. Otherwise, if you would like to do a standard bridge, you're going to either dig your elbows into your sides, point the fingers up, and really nestle those shoulders in to protect the neck. Now, use everything that's in contact with the floor to help press in and lift. You could also do a version of this where you clasp fully underneath, which brings your shoulders even further underneath you, all right? When we shrug our shoulders, we take our neck off of the mat, and so doing the crunch off of it. Now, you may be noticing a theme here. If you like the next version of this, it's called upward bow or wheel, where some people do like to put their hands, the fingertips close to their shoulders, real close to the shoulders, elbows in, knees in, legs in, and you can inhale, maybe come to the crown of the head, and then exhale, press. All right, this is really intense back bend, and it's not beginners, but I'm putting it here just in case it's in your practice. Just know that when you come out, you again come to the crown and then start tucking one vertebra at a time. All right, so just going to ask you to do that if you chose wheel today. And for the rest of us, in bridge pose here, I just want to make sure we're guiding ourselves out nicely. Untuck the shoulders, hands, arms, and let the vertebra come down one at a time. Oh, good, good, good. And we can do just a little bit of a recovery from that, taking an apanasana. Take the knees in. Another sort of heart opener, but moving also into chakra 3, Manipura, the solar plexus, and we're going to do fish. So rock up for a sec, and I'm going to walk you through the versions of fish. Now, if you had a blanket, let's look at the lowest. If you had a blanket, you could form sort of a long, skinny folding. Lay yourself back. Now, the thing about fish is that the rib cage is lifted, but the head falls back, and so do the arms. So this might be great for some people. Another thing that you can do is to try to accomplish the same thing, maybe keep that there, with the block under you. And the block elevates the rib cage, and you want the head to rest. So I have the blanket here to catch the back of my head, and the neck feels comfortable and long, not crunched.
Some people may be able to do this without. In fact, the classic version would show it without, like so, but not everyone's head is going to touch the mat back here, and you don't want to be hanging out in space. If you're hanging out in space, you want to involve some extra lift here. So using all of our props and really just allowing this openness, see it in the heart and the solar plexus here. And then I'm going to show you the full version of fish as well. So if you want to do that, it looks like this. So you lie down and you place your arms under your body completely. So you're lying here with the arms under the body, and then you achieve kind of the same thing with the strength of your back. So you lift yourself up, and here again I'm expanding across the front side of the body and lifting it, and you can hear my voice a little bit changed, keeping the legs kind of active. The elbows are in, and they form a bridge underneath you. Again, the tip of my head is touching, and the arc of my neck is, I wouldn't call it natural, but it's not crunched, and there's no weight on it. It's kind of, the work here is happening in my arms and shoulders, not in the neck. There are advanced versions of fish as well that involve the lifting of the legs if you just can't get enough. This is how I would teach an in-person class, because I know some people like those options, and so I'll give them. If I know their experience, that's all right. Now, you're still maintaining your smooth breath here. And whatever version you're in, I'd like you to come out mindfully. So you're going to bring your chin towards your chest. And then if you're like I am, just sink back to the floor. Otherwise, you could sink off to one side if you were on the block or a blanket. And let's just do one more knees to chest here. Hug it on in and have a moment of counter pose. And we'll actually do one more kind of nice counter pose. Extend your legs again. Now you're going to clasp your hands and put them behind your head and make a pillow. Now you're catching the weight of your head. Now without squeezing your neck, use your arms to draw your chin towards your chest. So this is kind of like where we were in our shoulder stand. Now I'm not doing any work in the neck at all. The weight of my head is falling into my hands, and my arms and hands have got it. So I'm giving myself just this lovely stretch, because in the fish our neck was laying back in the opposite way. So this is my counter pose. Smooth breath. Beautiful. Gently let that go. And we're going to once again return to seated. So protecting your spine, come on up. And speaking of our neck, let's do a little strengthening for it. So apply some pressure against one side, but the head's not going to move. You're going to use the strength of your neck to just resist your hand, okay? Don't go crazy, just a nice amount. And then do the opposite side. We're going to do all directions here, okay? Then try the front a little bit. Resist the hand and the back. And then diagonal front. And diagonal back. Other diagonal front, of course. And diagonal back. Good. Take a moment and sit with that. Sit nice and tall. Make sure that neck is returning to its natural alignment. We're going to move on. We keep moving down. We're going to spend some time in chakra 2 here. That's the sacrum, so the area below the navel. And I'd like to take a dandasana here. Now, guys, know that if you feel really, really strained sitting in a staff pose like this, I really, really would like to advise you to sit up, give yourself a lift, because you want to sit up on top of those sit bones where you feel that contact, right? So just sitting here at the edge of it has this magic ability to kind of let you fall a little bit forward and sit up on top of those, all right? Good. So drawing the toes back here, lengthening the back sides of the legs, navel in. Let's go ahead, inhale, arms overhead, make this beautiful L shape.
And then take an inhale. And then exhale, come to where your body tells you to stop, but you're still got a long spine. Inhale, re-lengthen, and it might mean coming back up. Now exhale, draw the navel in and come maybe a tad further. Stay here, inhale, re-lengthen, and exhale, come a tad further. Now, you might be practicing here or with hands on the legs, but if you're able to, 2 fingers around the toes, go ahead. But I want this one to be, this Paschimottanasana, to be more like what we call Mahamudra, which is concerned with having that spine remain really, really tall. Okay? Mahamudra, the great mudra. So did you know that not all mudras are just hand mudras? It's sometimes referred, full body positions were often originally described as mudras, and there's a few of them. So there's various kinds of mudras that can be made with various parts of the body other than, or the whole body, other than just the hands. So you're inhaling, and again, thinking about that internal experience of length. And then as you exhale, make sure you're drawing your navel in and feel that space. It's going to make that fold feel a little easier, yeah? Every inhale, you draw up from your navel, your pelvic floor. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, and draw in through the navel. Feel like you're lifting from the backside of your heart. Navel in, and finding the place to relax in this too. It's a lot of tension, so you don't want to just hold it. You want to breathe through it. Okay? Let's finish your last nice big breath in this pose. And then move on back, lean back, beautiful long spine. Okay, we're going to do the wide-legged fold as well, so take a little bit of a side. And again, stay on the blanket if that helps you. So you'll notice I am not the super master yogi of the splits here, and I don't know if I ever will be, and I'm not concerned about that. But I sure can practice this and feel good activation here. A lot of the same things will apply to this pose. If you want to support yourself behind in order to lift your spine up nice and tall, then do so, right? Otherwise, if you can guide yourself with your breath to inhale again to feel nice and tall, and exhale to just remind yourself to let any tension just dissolve away and hinge at the hips. Think about turning the thighs a little bit outward from the hip as well. And the feet don't have to necessarily be doing anything. They don't affect the stretch too terribly much. What else? You see my block here. That could help. It could help me be a little bit more yin about the pose. A yin pose is where we set ourselves up and then let gravity and the pose just do the work. Okay? Very much so here. And then I know that there are people who are naturally or with practice really bendy in this pose, so you can go down as far as you like, all right, or even progress. Maybe you feel a little melting happen. But also always drawing yourself back inward. That internal experience of our yoga practice is a big part of what we're going for here. The inner peace, the conquering of the challenge. Okay, let's inhale again, lean back, straighten up tall, and then let's keep your left leg long and bend the right. Now sit up straight, and when you exhale, I'm gonna come off the blanket. When you exhale, turn away from the leg. So just turn your whole torso away from the leg here. All right, and then you're gonna lodge your left hand inside the leg. I'm turned away. Bring your right arm up. Now before you go for the gusto here, inhale. Lift your right hand up nice and high. Sit tall and feel that length up the entire side of the body. Now, if you feel some softness over here on the left, then you could go into it, but try to keep
So, I see it all the time in class. What people will do is they perceive that this is what I want them to do. That's not it at all. Stay open, stay long. All right? And for some people, yeah, that will go way out there. But who cares about some people? I care about you practicing the body that you've got right now. Okay, good. Long, long. All right, let's inhale, come on up. And then we're going to put both of the soles of the feet together for a bound angle. Again, all of this stuff, use the blanket if you want to lift. Placing the hands around the toes, or put your hands behind you again. We're just going to literally make the butterfly wings flap. Okay. So when you're doing this, it's warming the inner thigh muscles up. Why didn't we do it before? All right. Because we're doing it now. Warm it up. And yes, I'm keeping on going. Make sure that you're still sitting up tall. Good warming. There's a lot of connective tissue here in these hips, so every little bit helps. All right, and then just take a moment in stillness in the pose. One more time, sitting up on top of those sit bones, feeling the spine stack up nice and tall over it. And then exhale, you use all of your quiet, gentle strength, allowing the navel in to support the lift. Knees relax. Take one more nice deep breath in this pose. And then we'll do the other side for the single leg stretch. So extend the right and bend the left. Okay. Make sure that you're feeling grounded. And you're going to sit up tall as you inhale. Exhale, you're going to maybe use your right arm and turn away from the leg. Turn away. Make yourself comfortable before you go further and lift your left hand up, making that good length. So I'm turned away and I'm lifted tall. And then I might stay here. But if I can sort of let some tension go and feel my way into softness in that waist and hip, then I might like to go a little bit further. But again, try not to fall too forward into this. Stay open so that the lateral stretch is part of the equation. Big openness in the side ribs. Inhale, open those ribs. Exhale, melt into the hips and waist. Beautiful. Inhale, sit up straight again. Just always practicing that nice alignment, that return to that awareness. All right. Beautiful. We are going to go on to our fronts next to do a little bit more back work. All right. So let's go ahead, flip on over, and come on down. And so coming onto our fronts here, now fully in chakra number 2, you feel that low belly pressing into the floor. I'd like to start by just a little bit of a flow here. So extend the legs and press the tops of the feet into the floor. And when you inhale, take those shoulders back. When you inhale, pick your hands up. And as you exhale, put them down and assist a little bit of a cobra. Okay, we'll do it several times. Inhale and lift. And exhale, assist. Maybe as you warm up, you like to do a little bit more. Inhale, lift. How high can you be without the assistance of your hands? Exhale. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, using the hands, keeping everything back. Good. Inhale, last one. And exhale, maybe you'd like to hold a cobra here. This could be at any height. Obviously, if you are dealing with any back issues, you're not going to compromise the tension or compression in those low vertebrae or anywhere else. All right. Otherwise, if you like a nice tall cobra, you're supporting it with your navel. All right. Let's go ahead and put this back down. Okay. Ready for the wildest locust you've ever done in your life? Here we go. You're going to look to the right, and then you're going to put your arms underneath you. Okay. So put your arms under support, look to the right. And then, when you're ready, then you're just going to lift your right leg. Now, it may take a little bit to kind of
feel what's going on here and how you're going to support yourself with your arms. But squeezing the entire backside of the body, big time in the glutes to get that foot up. Good. And then just go ahead and relax that. Now, pick up your head and move it and look the other way. And then, when you exhale, lift up the left leg. So again, just breathing through this. Sometimes when we do abdominal work, we hold our breath because it helps us hold the abdominals in place too. But part of our yoga practice is to keep calm via the presence of that breath. All right. And let's go ahead and put that down. Pick your head up and move it back over to the right again. Now this time I'm going to offer an option, or you can continue to do what we did last time. When you're ready, looking right, you inhale, lift the right. Now you could use your foot and help support yourself under that leg and get it even higher. So it's this strange balance between relaxing certain body parts and using others, like this foot and my calves, to keep that lift. Or you could just be doing the regular lift. Good. Let's put that down gently. All right. Square it up. Pick your head up and move it to the other side, looking left again. And we'll do the other either standard leg lift or involve that right foot under the shin, or, if you're super back bendy, you maybe get it above the knee. Depends on your body anatomy too. My shin bones are kind of long, so I don't know about putting it under the knee. That would be a huge kink in my back, I think. Oh my gosh. Crazy locust. Let's go ahead and gently come out of that. And then I want to find a child's pose. So carefully press yourself on back, knees wide, toes together, or head down with either support, or wrap your arms around your legs. So at this part in class, this point, putting the arms back around the legs contains our energy. Always remember that we want to leave class feeling invigorated, powerful, and so we want to keep the energy that we have built and, cultivated, generated. Good. I want to come down on my front for just one more back exercise. Come on down, and we're going to do one more locust. So extend on out. Option number 1, just hold here. Option number 2, you can pick up your hands. Option 3, you could have those arms go back behind you, and or lifting your feet, or full boat locust out on here. Squeeze, squeeze in that back. Lift, lift. So normally our boat is the other way around. Lifting away, using the other side of the hips as our base, fulcrum. Oh my gosh. Take one more inhale, lift. And exhale. Let's press ourselves up to our knees and sit in Thunderbolt. Obviously, if we have knee issues, we don't want to sit like this. Just sit in any way that is relaxing for you before we move into our next poses. Speaking of that, the next poses will involve the knees down, and I'm going to offer options as well for that. But let's just start by coming onto all fours, and you will lunge your right foot forward. So right here, left knee's back, and give yourself a little bit of a flow here to stretch the backside of the legs, and exhale forward. We'll do that a few times. Come on back. Now, what if I was struggling to reach the floor on this? Oh, look, I've got this block that'll help me out. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and hold that in the hamstring stretch. Okay, so hands wherever they feel useful. Being really mindful. You could even kind of swing like this hammock here and find some looseness. But keeping the back nice and long. As you exhale, sinking the hips back behind you. And then we're going to move into a pigeon. So, block probably comes out of the way. You're going to bring your foot back under you. Now, it might be easier for some people to just put the knee back down and move the right knee up to your right hand. Okay? And then the right foot stays pretty near your groin in the center. Tuck the back toes, let them slide back. Now from here, you want to make sure that leg goes straight back behind you on the mat and reposition your hips so that they point forward, all right? Pointing way forward. And then this can be, there's all kinds of ways to do pigeon. It can be a back bend like so. All right. There's also the hold and or hold versions. If you love one of those and you know it, it's on the table for you. Otherwise, Sphinx, giving the back a little bit of a break here, becomes more about the hip opening, or even progressing down, arms, forehead on the block, or even all the way to the floor. And as you breathe in this pose, again, another classic kind of yin type of pose where you want to settle, find your sort of starting point, and then travel through the pose with your breath and the heat of the pose, eventually releasing a tiny bit more. Maybe you feel that right hip sit back a tad more. Take another deep inhale in the pose and a deeper exhale. And then carefully, let's walk on up. And then we're going to do a seated twist. So you might like to just take your back leg and swing it on around and cross your ankle like so. Okay? So we are sitting on those sit bones, lifted on up. Now you could also leave that right leg long and do your twist like so. Otherwise, I'm wrapped around. That right foot is near my left hip. Moving the knee towards the center line of the body. Okay. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Use your back hand as a nice kickstand to remind you to lift. And then front hand as a good lift and twister. You want to lift and twist back, look back. This front foot is there for stability as well, so try to keep it flat. Using, you're relaxing into this pose, but you're also using a little bit of engagement up the line of the spine to keep it up and to keep it turned. Taking full breaths despite the fact that the leg is compressing against you. And fixing your eye gaze behind you. One more deep inhale in this pose. And a deeper exhale. Stay in the pose and inhale, look over your front shoulder. And then exhale, melt out. All right, we're going to come back onto hands and knees and do that sequence again. This is lunging the left foot forward. And then squaring, make sure your knee is okay. And give me a few flows through the stretch of the backside, the hamstrings, okay? Pressing back, allowing yourself the time to warm. So we haven't really, normally by this time in class, we might have done more standing forward folds, standing poses that are warming up the backs of the legs. So let's go ahead and hold that there. But those are yet to come. In just a minute, we will be standing and finishing with some of those poses. Okay? Again, remember that even though we're finishing standing, we're finishing grounding. So thinking about it in that perspective instead. Chakra 1. Muladhara is about our root. So it means where our hips make contact, where our legs and feet are finding their stability. All right. So we're going to go into pigeon. So you come forward. So you could either just tuck this under. Otherwise, you're moving your left knee to your left hand. Take the right back. Settle it. Point the toe. Not really square back there. I'm going to correct that.
And take those hips towards the front. And if you would like to do a backbending version of pigeon, you are certainly welcome. Otherwise, I showed the other options last time with the elbows down,
using the block, or fully surrendered. And don't feel, please, don't feel like you have to get into your end point right away. It's a great way to practice to start from somewhere where you just know you've got really nice alignment, then establish your breath there. Be calm and let things relax. And then maybe you will, probably you will, find a little bit of extra space to move into. Give yourself that time and patience. There's no prize for speed in yoga. Maybe that left hip melts back a little bit more. And then let's walk our way on up. I'm going to sit to the side, take that back leg up and around, all right? And you see me, I'm always doing this. I'm always picking myself up and putting myself back down on both sit bones equally, right? Foot is making contact with the floor. This left leg could be straight. Figure out what you need for your pose. Back arm is a kickstand. Draw your knee in. Front arm gets a big hug. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lift and twist. So think about that. Don't let the twist draw you down. You want to use some strength to have the twist lift you up. Trying to relax the shoulders a little bit and your eye gaze back beyond the shoulder. Breathing smoothly. So also feeling chakra 1 happening here. Here we are nice and seated. A twist is also something that really brings us into balance, doing right and left, wringing out our opposites, bringing ourselves to evenness. All right, let's go ahead and come back through center, and then we're going to work our way to standing. All right, so come on forward, step forward, feet together, hands to hips. Let's inhale and rise, and exhale, find your mountain pose. Okay, here we are. What could be more grounding than trying to practice balance? Balance is also really great because you can't not be fully present when you're balancing, right? Now this is a series of 3 balances, all on one side at a time. So if the ankle's getting a little tired, just kind of give yourself some grace. But we're going to root down into your right foot. All right, begin with a tree. Make a tree through the entire right side of the body. Now what helps in a balance pose is if you can look maybe out a window at something far away that is completely stable. Now you could turn your leg out with a kickstand, or bring it to the calf, or bring it up to the inner thigh. But if you do that, apply pressure with the leg against the foot. Do not put it against the knee. Knee don't like that. Okay, so here we are in a lovely tree, pressing down into your roots, lifting up through your crown, building bridges to the sun. All right. So the second balance pose, we're going to move it into either an airplane or a warrior 3, and you're going to unhinge this foot and kick it behind you. So start to unhinge it, and you're going to kick it behind you. If you want warrior 3, you're going to reach out long. Otherwise, you can put your hands, keep them at your hips. All right. And if you need to touch down and back, go ahead. And then maybe relaunch into that airplane, arms back, arms wide. And then version 3,
Take your left hand, reach back and find your left ankle for dancer. Right hand comes front. And you could do this, a lighter version is to stand upright, open your shoulders. Or, again, as you lift up and back, you lift up in front as well. Looking ahead, keep your focus. Oh my gosh, let's inhale and rise, and exhale, put that down. Whew, how does that ankle feel? Maybe give it a little bit of love. Do you feel some excitement there in your cardiovascular system? That's why cardio exercise is all done with the legs, because there's more muscle fibers here triggering. They need the support and the energy, so they start fueling this. All right, other side. Shake it out. Tree on the left. Tree on the left. Before you do anything, establish a good sense of it, running through the left side of the body. Maybe you like a kickstand, the calf, or on up to the inner thigh. Navel in. And tree, you could have the arms anywhere that they help, or anywhere that is your favorite. Although, I will say we all have our favorites, but I encourage you to practice outside your comfort zone from time to time as well, so that you are constantly learning, allowing your brain to change, body to adapt. Okay, we're going to move. You can either do airplane. We're going to start kicking the foot back. You can have hands at hips and start kicking back. Otherwise, if you liked that warrior 3, we came out front with the arms, squeezing glutes, strong low back, abs stay up and in. As the leg lifts, the torso goes down. Now, if you want to open the right arm back behind you, find the right heel. Left arm stays front. You could just kind of stay standing up. Otherwise, creating that back bend with the foot lifting, creating kind of a bow back there. Woo! Lots of support in that leg. All right, let's inhale, come on up. And exhale. Ha! Nice job. And again, you feel that pranic rush. So that's a lot of excitement for the end of class. I want you to really focus on the next poses, on being really grounded and bringing the energy down. So that was a grounding practice, but feet are on 2 lanes at the top of your mat. Let's step the left foot back. I'm going to say this too. Let's have our block by the right foot. We'll do both triangles, standard and revolved. Keep the feet on 2 tracks. That's nicer for your SI joint. All right. Open. Arms wide. Good and level. Now, as you reach your right arm forward, think about reaching, like pulling this right hip back as well. So someone's got me here and someone's got me here. Reach out. Now I'm going to find where my triangle goes. Is it at the shin? Do I need it a little bit higher, like so? Is my stance where I want it? Yeah, you can go a little bit wider. Do I like to practice with the block? Right here. Okay to take this left hip with you and let the right hip sink back, but then reopen. You'll feel even more twist here to open that shoulder. And your eye gaze fixes wherever you like. So even though we've got energy rising, feel the foundation in the feet and draw that foundation up through the inseams of the legs, that triangle energy. Okay? Keep the navel in to support the twist. And again, finding your stillness in the pose, finding yourself feeling more grounded here, wherever you're making contact with the earth. Good. Now we're going to take the left hand, come down, find the block, put it right under your shoulder. Now I really want to make sure I've got my feet on 2 lanes here. Right hand to my hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, from the navel, start to twist over to the right. And if having the arm up is creating too much rising energy for you, yeah, you can absolutely rest it behind you. or keep it at the hip, reminding it to kind of come back. What I really want is for you to channel the grounding. Really feel the power of the feet into the mat, into the earth. Now, speaking of that, press firmly into the feet, maybe bend the front leg, and don't make yourself dizzy, but windmill back on up. Good. We're going to step to the top of the mat again. Watch out of your rock. All right, let's set up for the other side. I'm going to move that block a little bit here. I'm going to step my right foot back, setting up for my triangle. Distance, up to you. Experiment with that too. You know, sometimes if you have a standard distance and you've been practicing a while, maybe you want to try it a little deeper. Maybe you want to try it closer in. Reach. Long with the left hip pulling back. Inhale on out. Exhale, find your triangle. Where do you rest? Where do you find your stability? Don't let your knee get locked out. Draw your navel in as you exhale to power that top shoulder open again. And then find your stillness, which is challenging in a powerful standing pose, but it's part of what we're aiming for here. That achievement of that steady mind in the face of a physical or external challenge. We're going to bring our right hand down to the block. Make sure it's under your shoulder. Okay. Left hand to your hip. Inhale, let's make sure we're extended. Make sure both of those feet feel grounded. Long spine. And then exhale, twist from your navel on up. Okay, stabilizing the hips a lot. Drawing that left hip back. Up. Back if you want. Nice shoulder opener there too. A little bit more grounding. And we're still always kind of keep in mind the essence of a triangle, which is to press into the feet and draw energy up the inseams. Okay. Long spine. Comfortable twist. Nice. Easy. Maybe bend the front leg. Bring yourself to windmill back out. And then step to the top of the mat once more. All right. We're going to finish with a forward fold. Simple forward fold. And I really want you to finish feeling the groundedness of this. So anytime we compress the low belly, we're assisting our exhale, which is our relaxed state. Feet hip distance apart. Let's offer some options here. Bend your knees, come forward. If you'd like to just hang holding your elbows and the head be heavy, go ahead. But as you continue to practice, know that you've got your block here too. If this is just not comfortable for you, use the block on any setting. But as you stay in forward fold, I want you to try to do a couple things. Let gravity take hold of your spine. Now, as you inhale, see if you can feel like you're lengthening the backs of the legs a little bit. As you exhale, draw the navel in. So you've heard me say that a lot of times, but feel how that helps get you further into a fold. Not straining, reaching. The other thing is that there's an essence to a standing fold like this where you want to put a little bit of your weight into the fronts of the feet because our hips swing back. Notice the difference. If your hips swing back, where do you feel a little bit more stretch? Or when you come forward and put more weight into the front. Stacking those hips above the heels once more. And then dropping the head. So you got to use your feet a little bit. Allow yourself to breathe smoothly and feel the grounding effects of your forward fold.
Grounded with the feet, feeling the support of the earth. Grounding, feeling gravity, making the spine longer and relaxed. Grounding with the fold, assisting the exhale. Breathe through any concerns that you have, just trying to be present and as relaxed as possible. And then we're going to move into our relaxation. So hands down, come onto your knees. However you would like to move yourself into Shavasana, come on back. Feel what was that like to end standing at a grounding. It's different, but just going to stay with your experience, okay? And in our Shavasana, before we come to stillness, I want to do a little bit of tense and release and make sure we didn't carry in that tension into Shavasana with us. So let's extend the body nice and long, okay? Arms palm up. And start by, when you inhale, flex your right foot, toes back. And then when you exhale, melt it, relax it, let it go into the earth. All right. On your next inhale, flex the left foot, the toes, and maybe it rises off the floor. Exhale, relax, let it all go, maybe even shake. Next inhale, squeeze your glutes and your abs, lift away from the floor a little bit as you inhale. Feel the relaxation as you exhale and let all tension trickle out. Settle your hips. Inhale and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your heart, squeeze your back. Exhale, release. Melt the heart into the floor. Inhale and squeezing. Make a fist. Let the arms float off the floor. Exhale, all of the muscles and joints of the arms and hands relax. Lastly, squeeze up the muscles of the face, maybe grit the teeth, even make a big grimace. Inhale. And as you exhale, let the facial expression melt right through you. And one more time, do a little bit of a body scan and let everything just trickle away. Coming into Shavasana, pose of total stillness in the body. If your back is bothered by this position, feel free to take constructive rest, where the feet are flat and the knees tip in, finding the sweet spot so that the body does not feel like it wants to move. Please let your breath be natural here. But maybe you'd like to encourage it to be just a little bit longer, smoother. Taking that principle of relaxation into the breath itself. And then once having encouraged it to be longer, just let it be. Here inside the mind, know that it's very natural for thoughts to come at us while we are trying to relax. Yoga is inherently a mindful practice in any way that we do it. And so the mindfulness of Shavasana really is just about finding quiet. And that means finding a place or a technique or a way of dealing with your random, mundane thoughts. Today, imagine in the center of your mind there is a lake at nighttime, and the surface of the lake is beautiful and glassy smooth.
the moon in the distance is reflected on the surface of the lake. Notice the calm quality of that light, which is reflective and cool. Be effortless and notice whenever a thought comes to you, it creates a soft ripple on the surface of that perfect lake. But let that thought ripple out and away from you, and let the waves once again smooth out into a clear, smooth surface, undisturbed. Anytime a thought occurs to you, let it manifest as one of these gentle ripples on the surface of the lake, disturbing that clear image of the moon. But then it becomes absorbed into the distance, into the vastness of the lake, away from you, leaving you quiet. Whenever you are bothered by your thoughts again, just calmly guiding them into the surface of the lake. It's important when you begin to move away from Shavasana that you maintain as much of that relaxed quality as you can. When you begin to deepen your breath a little bit and moving gently at your joints. And then if it's early in the day, raise your left arm overhead and turn onto your left side. And if it's later in the day, raise your right arm overhead and turn onto your right side. Notice that whichever side you are lying on, the nostril that's on top becomes more open. So this is why we make the distinction. When you lie on the left, you open the right, which is your solar channel, and early in the day can help open open you up to more livening energy. And when you lie on the right, the left is open, and that's our lunar channel, bringing in again that coolness. But when you're ready, let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Sit on up tall, comfortable, relaxed. And take one more moment to notice the energetic state in your body. And very likely the progression of this class was different than your usual. I know it is for me. But notice the energetic difference. And let's close our practice with hands at Anjali Mudra. And the thumbs, let's bring them up to touch our third eye. This represents fire, the tips of the thumbs, reminding us to use our intuition. Touching to the throat, firing up truth when we speak. Bringing the thumbs to the heart center, firing up our actions with compassion. And bow your chin into your chest.
Seal in your practice.
Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like, you can find more practices at bluelotusmn.com. And it's always nice to actually follow up your practice with some meditation. And so you can also find loads of meditation practices for various kinds of needs, depending on how you're showing up, on the website as well. Just look for meditation. See you next time. Bye.